Haas seems to be in even more trouble now, as the team boss Guenther Steiner could sue the team founder Gene Haas over a dispute as to who truly owns the Formula One team. This situation is not good for the team, as the team already is not having a good season. But the question remains who will win the lawsuit and who benefits the most. Stay until the end of the video to find out. In the ongoing situation in Formula One, there's a developing issue between Guenther Steiner, the leader of the Haas team, and Gene Haas, who founded the team. The disagreement revolves around who owns the team. Recent information from Business F1 magazine suggests that the heart of the problem is a statement from Steiner about an agreement he claims was made in 2016. In this alleged agreement, Steiner says, "I think this team should be something I'm deeply invested in. I initiated this team and found someone to invest in it." Steiner believes he was guaranteed a 50% share in the Formula One part of the team, but Gene Haas disagrees with this claim. This argument has big money implications. The Haas F1 team is worth about $900 million. If Steiner's statement is proven right, he could miss out on a massive $450 million if the team is ever sold. Now, this huge amount of money might be why he's working to legally prove his claim and make sure he gets what he believes he should. Even though there's a growing disagreement, Steiner has talked about how he sees Gene Haas in a positive way. He's pointed out how important Haas was in starting the Haas F1 team. But now, the question of who owns the team is causing some problems. Making things more interesting, the Haas F1 team's value has been going up steadily. As the team gets closer to being worth $1 billion, Steiner's effort to have ownership rights becomes more urgent. Steiner talked in an interview about how they get offers from people who want to buy the team every week. But he mentioned that the offers are for a lot of money, not just a small amount. Now, owning the team seems like a smart and valuable thing to do. Not everything is going smoothly within the Haas F1 team. Even though Steiner got what he wanted, being able to hire experienced F1 drivers instead of new ones or those who bring money to drive. Kevin Magnussen, who came back to the team and did well in 2022, has said that the team is starting to feel frustrated because they haven't scored any points in several races. At the beginning of the season, Haas did well and got points in 3 out of the first 5 races. Magnussen finished 10th in the Saudi Arabian and Miami Grand Prix, and his teammate Nico Hulkenberg came in 7th in Australia. However, starting from the Miami Grand Prix in May, the Haas drivers haven't been able to finish among the top 10 in races, although Hulkenberg did manage to finish 6th in the sprint race in Austria. According to Magnussen, this is mostly because their competitors have improved a lot, but Haas hasn't been able to make similar progress in terms of how well they perform. When Magnussen was asked about how he felt about how Haas has been doing in the recent races, he said, "I'm not sure, but I think there's a feeling of frustration." He explained, "It's getting worse because we see other teams getting better and making big improvements, but we haven't taken that big step yet. However, I still believe that our team can change things for the better in the future. It won't happen right away, but I believe we're doing the necessary work to make that big change later in the year. It's frustrating not to be there at the top with the points and good performances. Right now, it's a bit hard." Well, one of the challenges faced by Haas this season has been their fair struggle to maintain their strong performance from qualifying into the actual race on Sundays. Despite this, Magnussen, a team member, believes that they've made improvements in recent races and can look forward to a positive remainder of the season. According to Magnussen, there has been progress, but their overall performance has lagged compared to their main competitors. However, he notes that their qualifying performance has gotten better. Unfortunately, some of the cars they were competitive with at the start of the year have become much faster, which is why they haven't seen significant gains. Nevertheless, the team is putting in extensive effort, and Magnussen is optimistic about the upcoming months. He believes that there are still good reasons to have hope for the rest of the year. After facing more challenges at the Belgium Grand Prix, Nico Hulkenberg, a teammate at Haas, mentioned that the team is aware of the problems they're dealing with. However, he cautioned that finding a solution wouldn't be easy. Hulkenberg described the weekend as not being very good for the team and suggested that they should consider it as a setback, take a break, regroup and return stronger after the summer break. He explained that although the break is needed, what the team truly requires are upgrades that bring actual improvements in performance. The recent race at Spa-Francorchamps highlighted the weaknesses of their car, which made them struggle in every session and on every lap. Hulkenberg admitted that there's a lot of work ahead. According to him, they understand why the issues are happening, but fixing them and getting significant performance upgrades is not a simple task. It's a more complicated process. As they prepare for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort at the end of August, Haas currently holds the 8th position in the Constructors' Championship with the same number of points as Williams. In fact, recently Hulkenberg was asked about his podium records. Nico Hulkenberg has participated in 193 Formula 1 races, excluding the races in Melbourne 2013, Spa 2015 and Silverstone 2020, where he couldn't start. His best result was finishing 4th. He achieved this 4th place result 3 times, when the teams were called Force India and Sauber between 2012 and 2016. However, he came close to getting on the podium in other races. For instance, he had a crash with Lewis Hamilton in the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix after leading for a significant part of the race. In the 2016 Monaco GP, a slow pit stop caused him to miss out what could have been a 3rd place finish. Adrian Sutil is the driver with the next highest number of F1 races without a podium, with 128 starts. When asked whether he felt frustrated due to not achieving F1 victories, especially considering he hasn't driven for a top-level team in the championship, Hulkenberg responded by saying it's a factual statement. He acknowledged that thinking about it could be a bit frustrating, as all racing drivers, both in the past and now, aim to win ideally. However, he highlighted that he never had a car that would allow him to do that. He mentioned having good cars and opportunities for podium finishes, but for various reasons it never materialized. He emphasized that he's content and happy despite this. Reflecting on his journey, he noted that he could have done some things better, but he isn't bitter or frustrated. He expressed his satisfaction with where he is and the fact that he's approaching his 200th Grand Prix. He'll likely hit that milestone around the Mexico race in October. He believes that if he were doing terribly, he wouldn't have been able to stay in F1 for 200 races, so there must be something positive in his career. Hulkenberg mentioned that throughout his Formula 1 career, he had very few chances, fewer than a handful, to achieve a podium finish. He shared that he's currently focused on the current Formula 1 season and is dedicated to working day in and day out to make the most of it. His career had a late revival when he joined Haas after Renault dropped him for the 2020 season. He explained that he needs to make the most of what he has now. Although he had opportunities in the past, they didn't work out, which was frustrating at the time. He pointed out that there's a statistic about having the most races without a podium. In the end, there's not a lot that can be done with a Haas car. Hulkenberg has stood out in qualifying, but because the car uses up its tyres quickly, it's tough to stay in a good position. He's done well by qualifying strongly at tracks where passing is difficult and managed to hold on to those positions. Magnussen hasn't had the big eye-catching result, but he performs decently in the races, especially considering he starts from a lower position on the grid. With the upper middle group of teams being so competitive and usually taking the top spots, it's a challenge for the bottom 5 teams to score points. Hulk deserves credit, particularly because his strong qualifying has led to points. This could mean much more money for the team. If a choice had to be made, Hulk might be the preferred option as his qualifying success has turned into points. However, it might not be entirely fair to suggest that Hulk will definitely stay while Magnussen might not get another year. Given the potential of the car, it could be worth keeping both of them at Haas. But everything depends on whether or not the team gets sold or not. So, do you think Haas would be sold? Let us know in the comments down below.